knowing you can't play or knowing you're.
Nas Reed, he can shoot from outside. Website, they were 19th in the league, and John Wall can certainly deliver that.
Sideline knocking the three and right back at you.
It feels coming into this game, as I mentioned before.
Walling up, playing defense without fouling from a skill position perspective.
And now they watch Kawhi for three. We are here for it. Russell, the South. 2 years ago, a pass to the wing in transition. That's one.
See that now. It's more calculating. Beautiful.
The Wolves finds Kawhi up top for three. Look good on Monday.
Top shape.
Feeling good. Pelicans, a worthy victor.
Interchangeable parts and senior.
George Batum for three. Morris for three. Veteran players locked in. Ball out.
Guys on the opposite team. Long shots. That's going to be the key to see how he.
Pete Leonard, giant strides, and Edwards. Oh, he's good. And a guy that loves the spot around Morris. Feeds to be in the Twin Cities. Yeah. Leonard, a little bit later on in this one, is Towns.
I know that Rudy Gobert's on the team.
They are intelligent fans.
Thank you.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
And George guarded three.
The playoffs now, you want to be a perennial.
Now, he's part of the new ownership group, and I'll tell you what. And they did an audit of back in 2006.
Culture.
Exactly.
And it's
right.
not just the coach and the players to fall in line about right there targets him.
19, they've got all four of our preseason games. Seattle, with the crowd was so appreciative. He's good at basketball. So is Towns for three. And it's tough to. It's
beautiful.
Reed,
which would make them
Wanda high, and he is up. McLaughlin for three. It's a high. Played for Dave Kleppers. Could go 2 for 1. Jackson another of Zoo fades, fires in and out. Who rolls? Giant steps to the cup.
Does happen to take place, which we see. They can absorb
in the dish to Kennard for three. Carl Anthony Towns. He has not played. Kennard dishes to Covington right.
That was a cause for concern on the right pattern.
Leonard corner through Covington. Catch and shoot three.
He wasn't a surprise. I think maybe the Clipper components that we have in Wall George.
Jackson for three.
Well, the best free agency is if you can retain how much they've grown as a franchise.
Well, Crawford, while we were in Seattle, he said, "And get yours today." Putting pressure on the rim, upping the
voice on the floor. Exhibited that throughout camp.
Versus future, Leonard the fadeaway.
Into a difficult
to the lane in overdrive to the rim.
Then on to the season.
Acceleration.
Being able to pick up a foul, getting themselves.
Be clear with you that Ty Lue and I will.
You should have saw me. I was on. Then it occurred to me that they go for our opening. The HOV lane, I was doing everything.
Him on Wednesday in Ontario. And then tumbles out of bounds. Good defense.
Himself to a new role. Big team. I think he'll needs to play.
Covington with the block shot. 7 assists.
Well, but he win games. He had to score.
By 14.
Answered that question right there, and then right over the top.
Forbes moves well. He really has been
vibes in regards to what you have to do
for the starting spot that he / tickets.
He's going to be there in the fourth quarter. Room with the others that won a championship.
Batum. A bit more of a pop and lock guy. I think
you're not.
I could do head spins. Needed a refresher. Covington.
Oh Lord. Just making sure.
That's why I just.
What was the best? No, when Turbo was outside of the.
Never had parachute pants though.
I did. No, I didn't have a Thriller. What you know about? It was a great time for hip hop.
It was good.
Yeah.
Edwards for three. October 20th. Morris for three.
And your effort. Something he's aiming for.
And that was one thing he took in his workout. He's expecting to play all.
And you have to have a high
transition three going 2.
Offensive balance in the backcourt in that time.
To drive on Morris.
To see Philly twice, being kind of players, if they have it. Benefit the Clippers.
A wild swipe by.
But with a veteran-laden team like the Clippers.
Ontario to take on the Nuggets. Morris.
No, he's more focused and concentrated on.
Made it in time. Reggie makes the grab, plays it back over.
Again, it goes back to not having enough points go up.
So they can ease into the seat.
The ease part is not really. Now, it is important that they gain in order to win a championship. I don't think so.
The first week of the season.
But if you're Ty Lue team.
Understanding that Terrence Mann to get even more extended in the moment. The time is session from Minnesota.
Situations where he had to step up and be able to understand. Rebound as well.
Clear kid. George! And sure, that's not the same Dan. With defense, it's good to have him back. He missed
Minnesota. What kind of year? See what his project.
Anderson. A nice
Pressure to be great. What I mean, every night.
75-65. He has 18. George for the triple.
That's the question. How would that have?
Obviously, the Wolves can be very
Offensively for the exploit that. So, you know, it'd be interesting. You know, not a lot of easy nights.
Covington spoon feeds the big. McDaniels for three in a big way, but have really found the range in the third. Floater by Reggie, no.
Over again, a live ball turnover to defense.
Into Covington once again. Perimeter foot speed is not one of them, but
Point line.
Touch for Kennard, jumper en route.
Switch out on Luke Kennard, and then
Jackson sizes up his defender here and one. A lot for Reggie as Edwards attacks and assists. Wall checks in. He's played 15 minutes, pushing the pace and putting pressure on the rim.
He doesn't need the ball in his hands, where John
in that starting role. At the end of the day, today, Ty Lue only has and will have a big role in that. He's not doing too shabby himself.
No. Well, what they have is championship, and I think we have the makings of that.
A step to the left three. The handles. McLaughlin does a great job of McLaughlin inside. Move up at 89. Get the ultimate fan experience.
Would it be interesting, too, and we haven't familiar with, of course, Austin.
That performance against the Rockets a year, but it speaks well of him. Locker room as a former
whatever, just hitting the ball around.
End game, not there with the communication to read.
Now it's read inside.
Talking about John, this stage of your career,
First, it depends on the player. On adjustment. Second, you are cool. He started college. You know what I mean?
Missed a shot in a month of Sundays. Oh!
How that lens to a team that really didn't.
Man, from the wing to the lane to the rim. 9 trips to the free throw line. I don't know if it speaks more for the way.
Took a long three, or you those are points that can be accounted for.
You're trailing by as many as 18.
Button on that free throw thing, multiple.
Covington for three. In that play, and it's a city that has been starved.
To celebrate those little those.
.com/19 points. Franchise history back in 2000.
In tight situations in the playoffs to be.
No doubt that they will handle them well, but they're hot. I've been hot.
Depth on how they handle those.
Against the Blazers. Rivers, strong drive. Saying we wouldn't have won those without Austin. Down the lane, he's athletic, and the extra pass to the sniper Forbes.
It up to get that 3-point. And look at the line that you have with Terrence Mann.
Played poker for a living for a few years. Howard for a long time. Deep three by Prince. Diabate, Boston.
Championship attitude. How you handle your.
Forbes misses not doing media after the game. It's going to
preseason form right now.
Boston.
He doesn't better believe it.
Strong drive by Rivers. Stutter step floater. It's good. Circuit again. Made the postseason. Players on the floor.
Well, I love what Willie Green. Probably teams that may fall out of that 10. You know what I mean? Within that, how do you pitch being?
To me, it's a bigger question. Extended minutes, and perhaps there are no all-stars currently.
We don't really grow and learn.
Think about that.
Yeah. He said
he was 100 inches at birth. Boston cuts a little bit. The lane scoops it up, not in. Win. Game in the preseason, but it isn't. And on Wednesday, we'll be in Ontario to take on the Nuggets. Morris.
Too, you talked about maybe not getting rest, but I know he's more focused and concentrated on.
I believe Boca Raton in Florida made it in time.
Great game, brother.
Lob to Reggie. Makes the grab, plays it back over.
Not being executed a lot. Again, it goes back to not having enough minutes and lineups go up.
On sale. To a team like the Clippers, where I feel they can ease into the seat.
Well, I think because they're so deep, the ease part is not guys that can fill the void. We saw that last year. Now, it is important that they be the #1 team in the West in order to win a championship. I don't think so.
PG not having to play 47 minutes in the first week of the season.
But if you're Ty Lue, that's not necessary for this Clippers team.
On the roster, I feel comfortable understanding that Powell and Amir Coffey, Brandon Boston, Terrence Mann to get even more extensive. This is it. They are really in the moment. The time is back over to Russell. Extended possession from Minnesota.
And win critical games. In critical situations where he had to step up, have to be explained so everyone can be able to understand them. Well, you know, you can have a take foul off a rebound as well.
Gives it short. Here we go. You're all clear, kid. George! I'm 99% sure that's not the same Dan. It's good to have Daniel Craig. He did a great job with the defense. It's good to have him back. He missed.
The acquisitions kind of what went on with Minnesota. What kind of year the ball at a high clip? See what his project.
You see a look at Anderson. A nice.
Can trust the floor. No pressure to be great. What I mean every night.
75-65. Russell 3. Clippers have led by as many as 18. George for the triple.
Driving lanes now with Gobert inside. That's the question. How would that affect
two teams?
Okay.
Clippers can play small. Obviously, the Wolves can be very
there by Daniels offensively for the Kishman. And he was able to exploit that. The philosophy is to be healthy come playoff time. So, you know, it'll be interesting because of the depth of the leagues. You know, not a lot of easy nights.
Defenders, great ball movement. Covington spoon feeds the big. 0.6 rebounds. How about 3 assists? McDaniels for 3 from the field. The Wolves were struggling in a big way, but have really found the range and have hit half of their 22 shots here in the third. Floater by Reggie No.
Clippers to make something happen. You turn it over. Again, a live ball turnover to defense.
Jackson, 2-man game with Zoo. Into Covington once again. And while Towns has skill on the perimeter, foot speed is not one of them. But
soft touch from the three-point line.
Again, good ball movement. Paint touch for Kennard, jumper en route.
One defense against Reggie, and then the switch out on Luke Kennard, and then ultimately got that layup.
Jackson sizes up his defender. Offensively for the Clippers last year and won a lot. But I'm still very excited for Reggie as Edwards attacks in sets. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Wall checks in. He's played 15 minutes good and done exactly what Ty Lue wanted. Pushing the pace and putting pressure on the rim.
Because he can play off the ball, and he doesn't need the ball in his hands, where John.
About who is going to be in that starting role at the end of the day. As we sit here today, Ty Lue only has be something to watch. Covington will have a big role in that.
Money, too.
Well, he's not doing too shabby himself.
No.
So anyway, continue with championship.
Well, what they have is, because their ultimate goal is to win the championship, and I think we have the makings of that.
1 by 1, Edwards dancing on the dribble. A step to the left 3. Wall shows off the handles. McLaughlin does a great job. 7. McLaughlin inside, ready. Clippers and Wolves tied up at 89. Get the ultimate fan experience pass and get yours today.
Would it be interesting, too, and we haven't, for that, I know Clipper fans are very familiar with, of course, Austin
Rivers, and rightfully so. Who could forget that performance against the Rockets a year? He's not on a guaranteed deal, but it speaks well of him. Tells you what kind of a presence he is on the locker room as a former.
Whether that was 4, 5, 6 guys playing, whatever, just hitting the ball around.
To score, Luke Kennard trying to play a little 2-man game, not there with the communication. Prince into Reed.
Which opened it up to Naz Reid inside.
Talking about John of those games. How hard at this stage of your career, we've seen it here tonight, how he pushes the ball.
Well, first, it depends on the play. Get yourself to that and then make the adjustment. Second, you are not only in an NBA, he started high school, he started college, you know what I mean?
Wall back the other way, by the way. I don't think Luke Kennard has missed a shot in a month of Sundays. Out here tonight.
So you think about that and how that lends to a team that really didn't expect for this Clipper team.
Man, from the wing to the lane to the rim. Assists, as Jim pointed out, 9 trips to the free throw line. Team with the Miami Heat. I don't know if it speaks more for the way
all on the deck, but it was either you took a long 3 or you had to your advantage. Those are points that can be accounted for.
But they have battled back after trailing by as many as 1,800 to 98.
And, you know, to put a button on that free throw thing, most of line like some teams who struggle offensively.
Covington for 3 was a victory over the Clippers in that play and thought it was awesome. It's a city that has been starved
in that position over the years. You need to celebrate those little those.
Evan Booker, the Phoenix Suns. Get tickets at clippers.com/. Previous 11, the Clippers have scored 19 points. The conference finals for the first time in franchise history back in 2000.
Being uncomfortable in tight situations in the playoffs to be
Now they have expectations. No doubt that they will handle them well, but it's
coming off of last year.
they're hot. I've been hot.
Clippers are in a similar situation with the depth on how they handle those.
On Monday night in Seattle against the Blazers, Rivers, strong drive.
Those puppies to kind of walk the baseline and
That they won back in 2021, saying we wouldn't have won those without Austin. Hold off. Diabate down the lane. He's athletic and sat out that second half. Rivers makes the extra pass to the sniper Forbes. The
Clipper player was, but that opened it up to get that three-point
drive, but it rolls off.
And look at the line. Initiate the offense. That's what you have with Terrence Mann. I have no clue.
I played poker for a living for a few years. He's known Juwan Howard for a long time. Deep three by Prince. Talent at the back end of that roster. Preston, Diabate, Boston.
Being a professional and having that championship attitude and how you handle your best on the court.
Forbes misses Mr. Jackson. Ty Lue is not doing media after the game. It's going to. Ty Lue would rather go.
He in his preseason form right now.
He'd afterwards.
You could. That's my man.
Boston.
He doesn't 8 cigar 8. I better believe it.
Strong drive by Rivers.
Use his body well.
Rivers stutter step floater. It's good.
Ooh.
Circulation of Zion to that team that again made the postseason. Locker room, the coaches on the sideline, and the players on the floor.
Well, I love what Willie Green. San Antonio and Utah is probably teams that may fall out of that 10.
The victor for Victor.
Did you see to get the first pick? You know what I mean? Within that one in the so-called tank. How do you pitch being an organization? That's a question for you.
To me, it's a bigger question for San Antonio, but giving younger players extended minutes, and perhaps they'll do that. They're going to sit all-stars. There are no all-stars currently.
How do you expect those young players to really grow and learn?
It's more heralded than LeBron James. Think about that.
Yeah, that was very interesting, Victor. He said always coordinated.
He was 100 inches at first.
Conscious and careful with the bill.
But not a lot of wiggle room. Boston cuts. I will tell you why. A little bit less. Shoot. Rivers from the line to the lane, scoops it up, not in. Boston for the win. 17, the Clippers dropped their first game in the preseason, but